Hello, my friend. Welcome to today's session. Today's session is all focused on core. So we are going to be flowing through a bit of a yoga sequence. We're going to be working together on this, and we're going to be really building some strength and some fire in your core. So some of these movements may be very challenging for you. I encourage you to scale, to come in and out of the movements as you see fit. And if throughout the movements you start to feel any sensations in your lower back, I'll cue you as we go, but back off if you start to feel this in your back. Everything that we're doing you should be feeling in your core, and that's usually a sign to back off if you are letting it fall into your back. So we're gonna dive in. It's gonna be short and sweet, but I want you to stay focused and stay in it for as long as you can. Okay, so push yourself. All right, so let's get started. Start in a comfortable seated position. We are going to arrive first before we get moving. So sit in a comfortable position, cross-legged, or if you need to have your legs apart, because your hips are tight, that is fine as well. But take your seat, hands on your lap, close down the eyes, and start to notice your breath. Notice if your shoulders are hunched forward. Notice if you're holding tension anywhere in your body. And just start to deepen your breath. Breathing deeply in through your belly and out through your nose. Briefly, just arrive here and set an intention for your work today. Maybe it's to just keep up. Maybe it's to be focused. Maybe it's to really push yourself. Or something else. It can be mental or physical. The most important is just that you set that clear intention before we begin. So just take another moment, get ready. We'll take one deep breath in together, and we'll exhale through the mouth. One more breath. Exhale through the mouth. Good. Flutter your eyes open, and we will start in a tabletop, hands and knees position. All right, so getting started. Put your hands just underneath your shoulders and tuck your toes. Start to rock over your wrists and sit back towards your heels. Inhale forward, exhale back. Just warming up the wrists. We're going to be on them a lot today. We're just going to get them nice and warm. And just a note, as we go through this, anytime that we are on our hands, think of pressing into the inner part of your palm towards your thumb. That will keep your wrists safe. All right, come back to stillness. Turn your fingers away from your body and keep about a 3-inch gap between your wrists. And start to make big circles all the way around, going forward and back towards your toes, following the breath the entire time. Inhales, you go forward. Exhales, back towards your toes. Good. Next time you're forward, switch directions. Continuing your breath. Good. Back to stillness. And just turn your palms over so that your palms are facing you, your wrists are facing away from you, your fingertips are towards your knees. And be very gentle here. Try not to put much pressure on your wrists at all. This is mostly just to stretch the forearms. You can have a little bit of a rock, or you can bend your elbows a little bit. Just play with it, be very light. Excellent. All right, sit back onto your toes, stretch the feet, and shake out the wrists. Awesome. And now, back to hands and knees. Starting with your toes tucked. Already create an arch in your upper back, so push the floor away. And think of pulling your belly button so far off the ground that your knees lift up an inch. And they hover. Starting in bear. Now think of pulling your toes to your wrists. You'll instantly start to feel a shake. That's okay. I'm shaking too. Just breathe in and out through your nose. Try to be nice and controlled. Awesome. Start to tap. Left foot out a couple inches, right foot out a couple inches. Try to keep the rest of your body still, aside from your toes that are tapping out to each side of the mat. Breathe. If you need to come down, come down. Otherwise, hang out. Keep the tailbone tucked. Belly button up. Almost done. And relax the knees down. Knees go wide. Slow the breath, come back into child's pose. Relax your head towards the mat. Stretch the hands away. Think of pulling yourself apart. Tailbone back, fingers stretch forward. Relax your forehead on the mat. And breathe. Awesome job. Bring your knees together. Tuck the toes. And then pick your hips up. Come to downward dog. In downward dog, or upside down letter V, you want to think of pushing your chest towards your knees. More focused on opening up your shoulders and your upper back, rather than keeping your legs as straight as possible, stretching your hamstrings. Take a couple deep breaths here, maybe pedal out the feet. Awesome. Now what we're going to do is we're going to roll through the spine and we'll come forward into plank. Now, if this is too much on your wrists, come down to your elbows. Otherwise, stay up on your wrists. In plank, you want to push the ground away, dome between your shoulder blades. Think of tucking your tailbone, squeezing your glutes, and lifting your belly button just an inch. This is a proper plank, lighting up the front side of your body. If you relax down, you're going to feel it in your lower back, and that's not what we want. So keep it lifted, tailbone tucked, push the ground away. And then we are going to drop down to our elbows, sink back into dolphin. In dolphin, it's just like downward dog, except your forearms are down. You're pushing your chest back. And then we're going to come back forward to our hands. You can either come up one arm at a time, or you can do both at a time. Back to plank. And then lift your hips back to downward dog. So that is a flow that we are going to go through about 3 times. So we'll roll forward to plank. We'll bring our forearms down. We'll drop into dolphin. We'll come back forward. And then we'll come back to plank. And then roll to downward dog. So play with it. The idea is to stay very controlled and to keep your core nice and tight. So starting in downward dog, come forward to plank, push the ground away, come down to your forearms, drop back to dolphin, back to your forearm plank, come up to high plank, drop back to downward dog. Let's do one more. Roll forward to plank. Come down to your forearms. Drop back to dolphin. Forward to forearm plank. Up to high plank. And drop back to downward dog. Awesome job. Walk your feet to your hands. And you can keep your knees bent. Now, all we're going to do is we're going to take a nice and easy seat, all the way butt down to the ground, control, and we're going to roll all the way back onto our back. Send your right leg up to the sky, and then, I bet you can guess it, send your left leg forward. So in this 90-degree angle, our heels are reaching to the ceiling and the wall in front of us. And then our tailbone is tucked. So you're lighting up that lower part of your core. And if this is too much, you can bend your legs a little bit, almost not quite a 90-90, about a 45-degree angle, or keep them straight. And then we're gonna reach up to that top foot, exhale, and come down, inhale. Exhale, reach up. Inhale, down. Exhale, up. Control the breath. Inhale, down. Keep going. Exhales up. We're gonna do 5 more. Three, 2, and 1. Good. Bend your legs, bring the feet down, hands by your side, and windshield wiper the legs. Deep breath. Good. All right, other side. Left leg up in the air, right leg straight out in front of you. Again, if you need the modification, bend the knees. Tuck your tailbone. Hands reach up. Next, exhale, reach. Control the breath. Inhales, we go down. Exhales, we reach as high as we can. Five more. Three more. And 1. Awesome job. Relax the feet. Windshield wiper the legs again. Very good. Good. Come to stillness. Now we're going to make our way to boat. So for boat, you're going to come up to a seated position. Lift the shins to 90 degrees. And then you can either hold your thighs, or hold your hamstrings rather, or you can send your arms straight. closing the gap between your belly button and your thighs. Again, you can hold your hamstrings, lift your chest, shoulders back, and breathe. Or you can send your hands forward. Either way, if you feel this in your lower back, come down and relax. Otherwise, hang out. Bring your hands to a circle and just send your hands over to the left, to the middle, to the right, to the middle, left, middle. I'm shaking too. Right, middle, left, middle, right, middle. Breathe. Left, middle, right, middle. Good job. Feet down. Whew. Relax. Shake out the legs. Bring your hands behind you. Fingertips point towards your feet. Start to lift your hips into reverse table. In reverse table, you want to think of pushing the ground away, tucking your glutes, pulling your heels back towards your glutes, opening up the anterior delts, and you can let your head do whatever feels good for you. Start to lower the hips, but bring them down towards your heels, keeping your hands right where they are. Inhale, try to straighten your arms, and then on your exhale, bend and sink into it. And relax, breathe. Every exhale, think of just letting go a little bit more. Awesome work. The hard part is done. So fast, right? The next time you do it, see if you can push yourself a little bit harder. Awesome job. Relax. Bring your body all the way down to the ground. Windshield wiper the legs one more time. Just letting go of any tension in the lower back or glutes. And straighten out the legs, let them fall open. Shavasana. Start to let your body just melt into the ground. Notice if there's any tingling in your hands or your feet. Notice if your face feels hot, if your core feels hot. Just breathe. Notice if there's any thoughts running around in your mind. If your mind wanders, that's okay. Be proud of yourself for noticing and come back to your breath. Come back to your original intention for this practice. Did you meet it? Did you remember it throughout? Did you complete your intention without necessarily trying or without being consciously aware? Regardless, just notice, take note, and be proud of yourself for showing up and pushing yourself. It's just another leg of your journey, another moment in your journey. And when you're ready, soak in that last bit of stillness. Turn over onto one side. Relax your arm on your bicep. Take one deep, deep breath. And slowly make your way up to a seated position. Again, where we began. Hands to heart center. Excellent work. Always so proud of you for showing up and for pushing yourself. Have a wonderful day, and namaste.